Our first coffee talk with Shaun and John of the new year. We want to welcome you to it. Shaun, good morning. How you doing, bud?
Better than I deserve, man.
Long time no see.
I know.
We just had Shaun and his wife and the two my two little homies over uh, for my birthday celebration on Saturday. How were the ribs?
Oh, amazing, dude. So good.
Shaun
Yeah.
walked out with it. Shaun even got a present that day.
Well, I'll tell you what, your wife's potatoes, though. Sorry, man. The ribs are good, but those potatoes are something special.
Those potatoes are over the top, man. I tell you
Yep.
what, the cornbread with the corn in it, and the uh, not to mention the birthday pie. That was absolutely delicious. You're not drinking out of your new cup.
No, my wife wanted me to bring it to work, but I it's just gonna get lost here. So I keep that at home.
I don't think it would get lost. We have to maybe show the nature of the cup. It might get stolen. It might get thrown out the window and broken, or some intolerant people might judge it or something like that.
Right on.
That's what it comes
Right
to.
on.
So anyway, so we're here for coffee talk and kind of the feature that we're talking about this morning, man. I tell you what, Shaun, has anything changed from 2021 to 2022 in terms of the job market?
Nothing that I can see yet. I mean, it's the same problem. Companies are having a very hard time finding even bad candidates, let alone good ones.
Well,
Uh,
right, and yeah,
so, so
that
that's
is
uh,
that's
that's where
funny.
we're at right now.
That's funny that you say that they're even having a hard time finding bad candidates that are out there. I mean, uh, we've been doing a lot of myself over the holiday. I've been doing a lot of research, and the reality is that what we used to do pre-COVID, and we've been talking about this for a long time. What we did pre-COVID and what we're doing now has to change because the working world is way different pre-COVID than it is right now today, for sure. There's many different ways that's true, but maybe you can speak to a little bit about what you've seen in the market that has changed since pre-COVID.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that we're seeing is just people want flexibility. They want to work from home. They're sick of traveling to the office. That's the biggest thing. Almost every candidate that I talk to, that's at mid-level management or executive level type of person, they all want the flexibility. So that's the biggest thing. I mean, if you're a company and you're making people come in 5 days a week, sorry to say this, but um, a lot of your competitors are having some type of flexibility with that, and that's a huge selling point. Even companies that have crappy cultures that allow flexibility are going to have a better time keeping people around versus a company that maybe has a good culture but they have no flexibility. So that's the biggest thing that I've noticed, John, is just the people want to work from home, whether it's good or bad thing. I don't really know, and I don't really have an opinion on that. um, but people want flexibility, and they want yeah, and that's what they're looking for right now. So if you're a company and you're wondering how the heck can I attract good people here at the mid-level or executive level management role, well, the first thing is by offering flexibility. um, and the
I
companies
don't
that
think,
offer
and I
that,
don't think
yeah.
people want. I don't think people want. Like you said at the beginning, I don't think people want to just say I'm only going to work from home. That's not what they're saying.
Right. I'm
I,
not
I
I'm not
think
hearing
I
that from
think the
really
key
anybody.
word here is flexibility. They want to have some
Yep.
flexibility, and the psychology behind that, Shaun, is that, well, number one, when COVID hit, what happened? Everybody had to go home. So it's been
Yep.
shown that companies can actually. I mean, many companies thrived. They did way better or as good in the construction realm with the people at home, with the mid-level management at home doing their work from home. They let's face it. A lot of some companies went out of business. That's for sure. Those companies that weren't able to flex with that went out of business. But a lot of construction companies that I talk to, a lot of owners that I talk to, tell me they had their very best year during 2020 when COVID was rampaging, and
Right.
2021, we came back and we're like, man, we're having that V-shaped recovery, just like our former president thought that we would have. He said V-shaped recovery or K-shaped recovery. We've had that recovery. It's happened and it's happening, but
Yep.
people found out that they could work from home. And they also found out, many of them found out that they loved working from home, that they were more productive working from home, that they had more flexibility, more work-life balance working from home. And there are some like us, Shaun, that love being in the office because we love being around other people. There are many more people, especially in large metropolitan areas. I think about Boston. I was just talking out in Boston today, where a person was sharing with me that they could drive 30 minutes to work in the morning. It takes them 30 minutes in the
Yep.
morning, but it takes them an hour and a half to drive home in the evening. I mean, that's an hour and a half of time for an estimator that they could do a takeoff that could be sold to a company over a phone. I mean, it's not that hard to think about as far as flexibility goes. So people psychologically, number one, they know that they can work from home. We've proven it. Number two, they like that work-life balance. They like the flexibility. They like to be able to, like, you don't even know what I'm wearing down below. They like, to put the suit coat on for Zoom meetings, but be wearing shorts, right, inside of their
Yep.
house. But then the other thing is too is that work. They understand that work is also volatile. In other words, they understand that if they drop, if basically that they're just a commodity. They feel like they're a commodity. When you're talking about culture, is they feel like some of these workers feel like, well, shoot, when COVID hit, the reality hit. I mean, we're all expendable. We're all, to cut the bottom line, we can be let go just as quickly as possible. So we're also seeing that great resignation, is that they're either resigned sitting in your office and doing just the bare minimum of what they can do, or they're going to find passion in their jobs. And part of that passion is that flexibility to be able to work when they want to work, how they want to work, and, still producing, still doing excellent jobs, but they want that flexibility. I mean, Shaun, it's like us. I mean,
Yep.
we this year we had a better year than we had last year, and last year we had a better year than we had before that. As far as our company goes, but we don't go into the office every day. We don't punch a clock at 8 a.m. and punch out at 5 o'clock. What you want employees that are bought into your mission, into your passion, and the way that you do that is give them some trust. So I think that's the biggest issue we hear from companies that don't want to go flexible, Shaun. I think we hear a lot from them is, how can we trust the employees to do their job?
Yeah. Well, that takes time, especially for new employees.
Yep.
Takes time. So I mean,
But Shaun, and you know this as well as I do. I mean, if you want to, are you going to walk around if you've got a company of 100 employees, are you going to walk around to every single desk and look over their shoulder and make sure that they're working 24/7, 365? Are you going to put cameras over each one of them? No, you're not going to do that anyway. If you can't trust your employees to do the job, don't have that employee. That employee,
yep.
we shouldn't have that employee. My son works remotely. He's always worked remotely, and they've got a monitor on his computer. I mean, that's
Unreal.
but it's unreal. But they can check in or check out, make sure that the person's at their desk doing what they're supposed to be doing. If
Yep.
that's what you want to do, that's fine. The flexibility, though, that part of that flexibility is saving that time. And you know what? I work better in the morning, but no office is going to open up at 3 o'clock in the morning for me to go into. Okay, that's when I do my best work, because there's nobody around. So you got to have that flexibility, especially when you're doing estimates. If you're an estimator in a construction company, why do you need to have your butt in a desk at 9 o'clock in the morning? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what else, Shaun? What other trends are you seeing, buddy?
I mean, I'm not, I'll be honest. I think I'm so simple minded that In my mind, really nothing has changed too far. So I mean, there's always been a war for talent the last 7 years that I've been recruiting. So like, it's always been difficult to find good people. Companies the last 7 years have always had issues finding good qualified people. Um, what I see is that it's just gotten more difficult. It's just gotten more difficult to find those people. So, we're obviously seeing a lot more companies rely on us as specialties in painting and coatings and drywall and HVAC, some of those things. So we're seeing a lot more job orders, a lot more companies rely on us, um, to fill those positions. And so that's the other trend, but you know it's been hard to find people for a long time.
Well, and and we like that, right? How I
I
mean,
like it, except when it's too dang hard.
yeah, it's really hard right now. And if you've got a guy that's been in this business for 7 years, like Shaun, and he's saying it's harder than ever to find talent right now, and he's doing the same things he's always done, and even more, trying different things. Shaun has the ability to be on all of our. We have multiple platforms by which we can reach qualified candidates, and including the old-fashioned telephone, where we actually pick up the phone and call these people. Now, how many of you that own businesses out there have the time to pick up the phone and call a
Right.
qualified candidate, much less search for one? And that's what we do. That's the thing that we take off of your table, and we say, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to use all of our multiple platforms that we have to go out and search and actively outward bound, not we're not waiting for phone calls. We're actually outbound telephone calls that we're making, as well as reaching out via different platforms to get these candidates. And we're doing this 24/7, 365. I'm doing it at 3 o'clock in the morning while Shaun is sawing logs. And then he continues to do it until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, sometimes at night when I'm sawing logs. Our team is constantly doing outbound activity to try to find the best candidates. And do you have time to do that in your small business? I don't think so. Do you have the
Yeah, if you
desire
have time
to
to
do
do
it?
that, then well, I don't know. You must not be staying very busy.
So we got a couple chatters here. Um, uh, uh, Zach Dibble says hi, John and Scene. I don't think he spelled your name correctly. I
No, he
wonder if he did
didn't.
that on purpose.
It's okay.
That's a that's okay. And Sanjay Kumar, he's a old familiar follower of this program. So hey Sanjay. So Shaun, but talking about that, just keep on that track that we just brought this up. What's the value that a recruiter brings? I mean, I was watching the game last night, the blowout of Kansas
Oh
City blowing out the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was
man,
really
they
into
smoked
the
them.
Ben Roethlisberger. It was kind of intolerant or whatever, but anyway, they kind of poured it on there. Um, but I saw an advertisement for Indeed. Why wouldn't you just use Indeed, Shaun? I mean, why wouldn't you just do that?
Well, I mean, it's all contingent upon the circumstances. I mean, if you're confidentially looking to make a change, or confidentially looking to make a change from if you're a candidate, I think putting your information out in public will obviously, once you put your information on Indeed or Monster, or any of those platforms, you're not confidential anymore. Anybody who has an Indeed account can essentially log in and see that. A lot of hiring authorities get candidates automatically sent to them through Indeed if they have certain search parameters set up. So if you're confidentially looking, and those things can be detrimental because obviously if your current employer finds out, um, they wouldn't be too happy, or maybe they would be, contingent on those circumstances as well. I will say, if you're not confidential and you're unemployed, great. I would use Indeed too,
Yep.
100% of the time. Um, the other thing is, from a hiring authority perspective, I think Indeed can be effective, but it takes time. You have to have the time to go through Indeed. You have to, um, you know, a lot of your good candidates, in my opinion, are not going to be putting their stuff out all over the web. So, Indeed can probably be a good, useful tool for hiring, which is why they're probably still in business. But especially in a candidate side, if you're confidentially looking, I would say just find a recruiter that specializes in whatever industry you're in, and reach out to them and work with them versus putting your information out there for other people to see. I mean,
Well, and the big thing,
if I'm going to confidentially look to make a change, the last thing I want is my name and who I work for on the internet available to everybody to see.
well, and that's the thing, Shaun, is that Indeed is like any other company. They're trying to make money, and they use your resume when you put your resume out there to make money. So they will take your resume, and if the word, we'll just use drywall, if the word drywall's on it, they're going to send your resume to every company that possibly could use a drywall person, and even those that can't. Like sometimes they'll send it out to an insurance company, but that doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to say, listen, we've got this great candidate, and if you pay me $250, if you pay our company $250, we'll expose the name of this candidate to you. And so every single drywall company out there and non-drywall companies are going to have your resume in front of them, including your drywall company that you're currently working for, your construction company, or your construction company you're currently working for, along with all of his friends. Shaun, one thing that we've learned being the number one drywall team, recruiting team in the entire country is that drywall is a small industry. Everybody uses
Right.
the same vendors. Everybody's going after the same contracts. Everybody that's an owner in the firms has one or two other ownership friends that are out there that have known them for years. So it's a small world. So if your name or your background, just even your background, gets out there with the names of the companies you've worked for, people are going to know who you are.
Yep.
I mean, it's a small world. So hey, look, if you're a drywall foreman or a carpenter or a non-union carpenter or even a union carpenter, and you're looking for work, or if you're a technician in HVAC or something down, not that's out in the field, that's out actually working in the field, Indeed probably is a good tool. If you're unemployed, Indeed's probably a good tool for you. But if you want to keep your job and you want to keep a search confidential, the best tool that you can use is a recruiter. And,
Yep.
and believe me, Shaun's a tool.
Thanks. I don't know if that. Thank you. You're funny, man.
So last thing, Shaun, what are those wolves behind you, and the wolves to the I think, if I can get my orientation correct, the wolves to the right of you? Tell me about those.
Well, and I was just thinking this morning, I've actually got 3 or 4 of them at home, and I've got 1 or 2 in my car and a couple at home. So we've got these wolves back here, and pretty much every year, if you bill a certain amount at GPAC, you get one of those wolves. And I think, every year John and I get one of those, which, we're not the top billers in the company, but we're very consistent. We place a lot of people per year. So those are just little trophies we get for meeting certain production within the company.
But the point is that we're top billers in our industry. I mean, we're the number one drywall team in the country and in the company.
Yep.
The number of people that we place within the drywall and paint, commercial drywall, commercial paint industry is beyond what anybody else does. And to me, that's what that represents. That represents doing a good job for our clients, our client companies, as well as our candidates. So if you're a candidate out there today and you're looking for jobs that they're not, hey, by the way, they're not advertised on Indeed. A lot of these companies, for the same reason that you shouldn't put your name out there on Indeed, companies don't put their name out on Indeed. Why don't they? There are some companies that do, but a lot of companies don't. I would say about 80% of the companies don't post their jobs online. Why? Well, they've got somebody, they might be replacing somebody.
Right.
If they do place their job online, a lot of times they're just trying to gather resumes for a time when they need to hire quickly. And so you may be getting a call long after you put your resume out there. But the reason that they don't post their jobs out there is they want to keep the jobs confidential. And so Shaun and I, Shaun, how many like job orders do we have right now? How many would you say that we have active across the United States that they're not advertised, and they're ready to hire tomorrow. Literally, they will interview and put a job offer together immediately.
Thank you.
They're not even close.
I would say conservatively 35 open jobs, conservatively.
35 open, high level, mid-level to high level management type opportunities throughout the country that are not advertised.
Right.
They're not advertised. And then how many companies, and again, we're talking commercial drywall, commercial paint, do we have on kind of like, you know what, if you find a great candidate that's ready to go to work, that will make a difference in my company. How many companies would you say we have a relationship with across the country that we could pick up the phone and call?
I mean, that's hard to even tell. It's probably over 50.
Oh, it's in the hundreds. It's actually in the hundreds. It's well, at my last count, 245. But that's even conservative.
That's more than 50, isn't it?
Yeah, these are companies where we can literally, if we have a good drywall or a good commercial paint project manager or estimator or combination of both, we can literally pick up the phone and say, hey, Joe, who's the owner of the company, we've got this great guy, boom, 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 boom. This is what they have. We can pick up the phone and probably get a conversation lined up. And I can safely say that is true in every metropolitan area in the country. Metropolitan, right. I'm thinking about like Boston. I mean, and literally in Boston, I could pick up the phone and get seven interviews lined up inside of a region where you could drive. I think of Washington, D.C. It's the same way. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is the same way. Denver, Colorado, Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, San Francisco Bay Area. All these things are Denver.
The Carolinas. I mean,
the Carolinas, Charlotte, Orlando, Tampa Bay. I mean, literally pick up the phone and be able to throw a stone to the different drywall companies that are out there that we could pick up the phone and call. If you're in those areas, we can pick up the phone and call them and have an interview lined up by the end of the day. Unless of course they're on vacation or whatever. So, I mean, literally, that's the kind of contacts, that's the kind of reach that we have as the number one drywall team in the United States of America. And our buddy Paul that comes on sometimes, he would even tell us, don't forget Canada. That's true in Canada as well. We've got the reach in Canada. We're beginning to get more significant reach in Canada if you'd ever want to live there.
100%.
Or if you do live there.
He's in the
I know you love Canada, Shaun. I mean, I like making fun of Canada.
Yeah. I'll just keep it there.
All right. Well, Shaun, just to close it out, man, we got to go. We got to get to work. We got to pick up our phones. What's your number one hot job that you're recruiting on today?
I want to talk about business. Sanjay wants to talk about business. Okay, well, give John a call. He's got his number up there. He'll talk to you about business all day and every day, and all day and every. How does that go? Every day and twice on Sunday.
And now Shaun's number's up there. You can give him a call, Sanjay.
Right now, it's hard to even. Right now, I've got a few commercial drywall companies that are looking for assistant project managers. I've got one client up in the Massachusetts market, Western Massachusetts, and then I've got another client down in Tampa that needs an assistant project manager. Most of the time, I'm working with full-fledged PMs and estimators, so these are a little bit off the beaten path, but I could be here for 10 minutes. I don't have one particular job that's hot. I've got 10 particular jobs that are hot, but I'll put it this way. Right now is a great time to make a change. If you're good at your job, you have a ton of leverage to get more money, more flexibility, better company culture. I'm helping out a candidate right now. He's making like 40 grand a year. He's new to the industry. He's got about a year and a half of experience in the industry. And right now he's interviewing with a company for 65. I mean, they've already talked money, but he's probably going to get paid 65 if he goes with them. So that's a significant increase.
$20,000 raise. I mean, geez.
That's 25. That's 25.
Oh, okay.
That's a $25,000 raise. So, I mean, that stuff is crazy. That's kind of, that's not like, we don't see that a lot. That's a new
tax bracket, man.
That's a new tax bracket. But, if you're underpaid, undervalued, give us a call. There's plenty of opportunity out there with companies that might even overpay you at this point. So that's what I got. If you want to talk, if everything's confidential, you can text me, call me, email me, send me a LinkedIn message, or whatever works.
Yeah, and that's true of me as well. That these numbers that we put up here on the board are calling or texting. Either way, you can get a hold of us. Call us, text us, reach out to us on LinkedIn, reach out to us on Facebook. Do whatever you need to do. Reach
Don't
out
reach
to us.
out to me on Facebook.
Don't reach out to you on Facebook.
Nope. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn. That's what I like. So I do have. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now. I've got urgent jobs right now. I can name off five cities right now where either a project manager or an estimator on the drywall or paint side will get immediate interviews. Boston, Philadelphia, Washington D.C., Fremont, Bay Area. We'll just call it Bay Area, California. Bay Area, California. That's four. And lastly, Chicago, Illinois.
Yep.
Shaun, can you say amen to that one?
Amen.
We've got a guy today that's he's right now enjoying the fundamental freedoms of being at one of the top drywall companies in Chicago. He's loving it, man. He's so glad that we were able to get in touch with him. But let me tell you something. There's four other companies right now in Chicago that are disappointed that they did not get to talk to
Yep.
that. They did not get to hire that guy. And there's four other companies ready to make a hire in Chicago right now on the drywall side that are hot to trot for what they need. So if you're in Chicago, man, you should give Shaun a call.
Yep.
Give me a call. Heck, we're not together today in the office, but we usually are. But we're just.
I got to roll, Johnny.
What's that?
I got to roll. I got some calls.
Well, we both got to roll. This is
All
it,
right.
man. Hey, peace out. Have a great day. We'll be talking to you later this week.
Peace.